live. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna put a link a couple of places. Why is it doing this? Okay. This is what we want. And hopefully... Oh no, of course not. That didn't work. Okay, let me try it one more time. I'm trying something, folks. We'll be right back. I don't think that worked. Oh, it might have, yeah, okay. So now I'm going to add it here too. Okay, I'm adding links to the site. I was asked to do this, so please bear with me a minute. Oh, I can't because I'm not you. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We're here. Let me make us bigger to us. Okay.
All right.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, we got Shauna's there. Hi, Shauna. Yeah. We had technical stuff, Shauna.
We always have technical
Yes. But believe it or not, we're getting better. So, while we're waiting for to see if anybody else is going to join us tonight, I need to share something quickly before he starts making stuff up, okay? So I don't know if you notice anymore because it's so much better, but Sandy's eye is all swollen up here. So, what was it, last Thursday?
Yeah.
Close enough. Okay, so about Thursday, he fixed his motorcycle and he took it for a test drive, and a bee landed right on his glasses and stung him. And so the next day, this eye was swollen huge, and then this eye swelled up also. Is swole the word? Was swollen. And anyway, it's just been miserable and really hard for him to deal with. But no matter what he says, I did not smack him with a stick, because that's what he wants to tell everybody. So I just want to clear it up before we start.
Yeah, okay. Okay, tonight we're going to be reading chapters 29 and 30 from our book, In Spite of Us, a love story about second chances. This book's available in bookstores. You can, if they don't have it, you can order it. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and you can even go down to your local library here and come on and check it out. They have it there.
But it's not open.
Yeah. And every once in a while we're going to have a drawing for another book. This book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, 101 Feel-Good Stories. Laughter is the best medicine. And to be eligible for this copy of this book, which has a story in it written by my favorite author, you need to share this, what we're doing tonight, on Facebook and YouTube. Or YouTube.
Just share it on Facebook.
Just share
but
it on
you don't
Facebook.
have to do it live reading. If
No.
you watch this later, which it seems like most people do, you
Okay.
can share it then.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to be reading chapters 29 and 30. But before, I'm going to read one of our reviews, and this one was an Amazon review written by Doug and Linda. Fun and inspiring. My hubby and I read this book together. We are absolutely loved it. It is filled with laughter and inspiration. I highly recommend it to anyone wanting a fresh look at how God can completely transform a relationship. This is a very real story with very real people. And that is what makes the book so intriguing. It's a great read. Thanks, Doug and Linda, for that great review. And now, Deb's going to read.
Oh, and I just want to say they were one of our couples. We've had several couples that have read the book together, and they read it out loud. The gal reads my part, and the guy reads Sandy's, and they said that was really enjoyable, and that it provoked really good conversation for them as well. So you might want to try that if you're married. Try to talk your spouse into reading it out loud with you. Okay, so we're going to do chapter 29 tonight. Like I said last week, things are getting much better for me. God's grace is really evident in my life, even though there's consequences to pay for choices that we've made. But as we move forward in the book, you'll hear a lot more about God and be able to see the incredible grace that He showered on us, even though we didn't deserve it. Thus the title, In Spite of Us. So, to be honest, my chapter tonight, chapter 29, makes me really tired when I think about, oh my goodness, what was going on during that time. So, we're living together. I've moved him into my home and with my children. So they're having to adjust. And for the most part, their dad and I were handling the divorce pretty well. He's living with another woman who happens to be named Debbie, and that was annoying and difficult, made things more confusing to have him marry somebody with my same name. But besides that, as far as divorces go, we were doing pretty well, keeping the kids as healthy as we could. But so the kids would go back and forth, and on the surface, they appeared to have adjusted to these huge changes. But this chapter is a glimpse into the mess we're trying to pretend is not happening, because there's consequences. I mean, our life was uprooted, and and our children were innocent victims of this. So Sandy, during this time period, he's hurting because of a career devastation that he's undergoing. And the point of this chapter is consequence. Our story is about how God blessed two undeserving people, but don't think there are not consequences to our actions. Sadly, others, like our children, suffered much of the consequences. With that said, we both got, I don't like to use the word luck, but I'm going to go back to the word grace again, because our children really turned out well, and so we're very blessed by that, and we didn't deserve that either. So chapter 29 is called Never Getting the Answers He Wants. I pushed through the snail-paced automatic doors at Safeway, drawing stares from startled customers. "May I help you?" asked the cashier, looking up from her till. "The police. I was told my daughter is here." "Up there," she says, pointing to the stairway under the employees only sign. Haley's face eliminates any need for introductions, sending an officer my way as I enter the room. A silent mother-daughter conversation burns as I listen to fragments of the officer's story. Charges, fines, criminal record, juvenile detention. "Do you want to tell us how the merchandise we found in your possession got there?" asks another officer seated near the girls. I told you we didn't steal nothing. We lost our receipt and shooting Crystal, the look known worldwide for you'd best listen up, I interrupt her lie fest. Haley, now is the time. Your chance to fess up. I know you want to. If you lie now, things will get worse, not better. You have a choice. Crystal exchanges her slouch for a straight back position, shaking her head no at Haley. Her mouth opens to speak, then closes, obeying the omnipotence of Mom in the room. Likewise, the officers yield to the power of Mom. Silence prevails, just like an episode from a 1950s Perry Mason show. The witness spills it all. We did it. We stole the stuff. We've been doing it here and at Payless too. It's not the first time. Relief smothers the sting of hearing my child confess to a crime. Confessing proves she's not a hardened criminal, that her conscience is alive and ticking. More so, the confession calmed my biggest fear, that my children would be like me. Unlike most parents, I never hoped for pint-sized clones. Like Crystal, I would have stuck to the lie. How did I end up with 2 conscience-active children? Like his sister, Jay cracks easily under pressure, showing no signs he inherited deviancy and deceit. Sandy's lucky that way too. Nanette and Stephanie chose not to mimic the lawless, havoc-wreaking model he held up for them. Instead, they strived to be better, different. I've overheard him thanking God for that very thing. I'm not eavesdropping on his prayers. It's just that his prayer schedule is catch can in time and place. I catch him at it all the time, in the kitchen, bedroom, living room, and even outside. It breaks my heart watching him pray, never getting the answers he wants. He's unhappy, cursing and complaining, at war with prayer and gratitude. His demeanor flips between turbulence and peace like a coin toss. I admit his faithfulness to pray keeps my interest in God spurred. When God stomps all over his dreams, he keeps going to meetings and praying. One thing is clear, if he didn't have the God thing to cling to, he'd crash and burn. What I don't get is why God won't just give him what he wants. What could it hurt? In the meantime, our relationship is uncomfortable. He's enrolled in the job training program where I work, meaning participation in my class. It's challenging for us both. Knowing a certain success story when she sees one, his job counselor placed him in a 6-month internship at Comprehensive Mental Health. Upon completion, it teases a full-time counselor position working with troubled youth. But first he must sit through my 2-week class. My job is hard enough. Strip away the titles, I'm a sanitized circus barker assigned to fill the heads of my students with visions of grandeur, of which only a few will succeed in landing a bland, unremarkable job. Sandy is their gem hidden among the rest, the gold star representing the entire program. Unlike Sandy, the other clients have battered job histories or are welfare lifers with nothing to offer an employer but a big bag of worries. They are the ones the original heart of the program is for. But without a shiny success story, funding is fleeting at best. It's my job to build up their confidence, get them to believe they've got a chance to find a job that will pay the bills and change their lives. I want this for them, enough to believe my own hype. As the class progresses, it's my job to meet with the counselors, rather like a farmer reporting the progress of his potatoes and onions. If I sell them bad produce, they end up with a non-producing caseload. Sadly, there was a time when they too believed in the down and outers. But after the 100th warning to up the success numbers, the client is just that, a number. With Sandy in my class, I feel more like a BS cheerleader than normal. It's difficult for him, but he's making my job impossible. He could cut me a little slack, force a laugh, crack a smile. Does he think it's easy jumping around like Mary Poppins, force-feeding motivation one spoonful of sugar at a time? At home, we've added family meetings and more game nights, along with cranking up security on Haley. Thankfully, her old friends are back, and Crystal is a memory. Haley is not without consequences. She sees a juvenile probation offer once a month and will be working around the house to pay back the $500 fine. We were getting along fine until I insisted she write a letter of apology to Safeway and Payless to be delivered in person. I'm not going there. Why can't you mail it? You're going. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Sandy and Jay look like little boys gathering in the school yard, hands in pockets, pondering on whom to place their bet. With verbal threats, I move Haley into the garage. Standing next to the car, my power feigns. Get in the car. No. Yes. I'm not going. It's stupid. Yes, you are. Get in now, or... Realizing I have no or, I grab hold of her shoulders, gingerly attempting to coerce her into the car. She resists. We're suited to wrestle, being in the same weight division. We also are equal in not wanting to hurt the other, so the match ends comically in a dead heat. Laughing, we compromise, walking to Safeway and Payless, delivering the letters together.
Okay, and before I read this chapter, a little backstory on it. The last several chapters of mine have been gut-wrenching, bringing up some old memories that hurt, and even working through these resentments and stuff. It still hurts when I bring them back up, but this chapter is one of my favorites because it represents one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life, and I want the whole world to know about it. And things aren't all great as far, but they're so much better than they had been, and things, life is good. Something to look forward to, and we all need that, something to look forward to. So this is chapter 30. In a rare moment inside Deb's head. Scary place. May 8th, 1991, on a dinner train headed to nowhere, I asked a question. Deb, will you marry me? I once thought stooping on one knee before a woman to be the ultimate groveling pose, but not today. Placing myself below Deb, asking for her hand in marriage, is a place of honor. I love everything about her, even the things I hate. I thought love meant finding someone who'd give me everything I want. That led me into relationships with women self-labeled as pleasers, more rightly named martyrs, forever unhappy with me for not following their script. Deb loves me for who I am, giving me freedom to do the same. There's no hidden agenda or secret expectations. I take the one knee pose, uninvited tears falling down my face. You don't...
You don't have to do this. Get up, honey. It's okay.
She wants to spare me from what she thinks is humiliation. As the other passengers hush and gather for the show, I want to stay on my knees, tell her I'm happy to be a public fool for her. But I have only the emotional energy to ask the question. No plan for a no answer. I thank God for the yes. Crowd applauding, grateful for the entertainment we hide in each other's arms. We're good at disregarding the bit players in our lives. High on the moment, we hobo jump to train cars, holding hands like kids whose parents should scold. Stopping at the caboose, we seal the deal with a windblown kiss. A week later, Deb hijacks my van, and I find myself a helpless kidnap victim tortured by her driving, not even given a courtesy blindfold. If Deb had been with Lewis and Clark, they'd still be wandering around in circles. Not having breadcrumbs to mark the trail, I note landmarks. Stopping at the North Fork of a Tandem Creek, she orders me out of the vehicle, pointing while giving her best evil grin. As she leads me across the rocks to the stream, I fight to keep quiet, disagreeing with each slippery rock choice. She's on snake alert. I'd like to not fall down. Letting go of my hand, she drops to one knee, wiping a tear from her cheek.
Sandy, will you be my husband?
Thinking we're officially engaged, I'm surprised at the proposal. Yes! I should have seen this coming. Following my proposal, she gave me one of her lectures. It had something to do with women needing to propose, that they shouldn't be the only ones pursued and conquered. After a long hug, she traces back to the van, on alert for really dumb snakes, and she returns with fishing gear, including night crawlers in a styrofoam cup wrapped in a half box of foil inside a Ziploc bag. After baiting both our hooks, I pretend to fish. The only chance of snagging a fish would be if she'd planted a box of fish sticks. So shallow, a fish would have had to wade by. But I don't care. I'm pursued and a conquered, happy man. No fish sticks in sight. Deb bores, suggesting we move on to part B of the abduction. Once again, I'm the helpless victim to her aimless driving. Twice, she pulls into a private drive, and we keep circling back by the pretend fishing hole. I'm wondering how long I can keep quiet while we drive in circles when she speaks up.
Okay, I give. I'm lost. I thought I could do this. I need help finding the Atana mission.
Disoriented and dizzy, I manage to find the mission just as the park keeper pulls a chain with a closed sign across the entrance. It's right here, but it's closed. I say, pointing at the sign, and he's shutting off the lights. Deb makes a face I've learned means not acceptable. Ignoring my pleas to drive on, she parks and gets out of the van, running after the man heading toward the groundskeeper's home. I could hear her calling,
Excuse me, sir.
and watched as the man stopped to listen. He shakes his head, no, then looks my way, nodding yes to Deb, who races back to the van, wearing the look I've come to know means, I win!
I promised we'd close the gate when we leave. What a sweet man. Are you hungry?
Grabbing a wooden picnic basket from the back of the van, she tilts her head with a silly grin, waving an arm like an usher in a theater for me to follow. Choosing a picnic table close to the tiny log church, she spreads a yellow tablecloth with napkins, candles, and crystal holders and china plates, side by side. In the moonlight, candles flickering, we dine on home-fried chicken, buttered bread, and baked beans, sipping Dr. Pepper from stemmed goblets. She's right. Everyone should be pursued and conquered. After our feast, I grab a candle suggesting we explore the Tanum Pioneer Church, built in 1873, when Yakima was a sagebrush wasteland and Washington State was a territory. The door is locked, but we can see through one window. We share an admiration for the simple charm, the history, the preserved quaintness of the 300-square-foot log cabin with its oak pews lending seats for about 30 people. Deb nearly knocks the candle out of my hand, jumping to get a better view. Handing her the candle so I have both hands, I lift her up to the window.
This is it. Yes, right? This is the place.
In a rare moment, inside Deb's head, I understood. Yes, this is the place. It has to be here. It's perfect. Back at the table with the remaining stub of candlelight, we outlined our wedding plans. The place, the Tanum Pioneer Mission Church. The date, September 6th, 1991. The traditional wedding cake, Exnade, replaced by our favorite, homemade cheesecake with fresh strawberries. We'd write our own vows, and whoever officiated would be given one line. I now pronounce you man and wife.
Oh, sweetie.
It's from
Aw. That makes me want to go back to the mission. If you've never been there, it's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
It's just the sweetest little church.
Yeah. Okay, that's our reading for chapters 29 and 30. Again, if you don't have a copy of our book, In Spite of Us, A Love Story About Second Chances, it's available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, or any local bookstore, or any bookstore can order it if they don't have
Or
it.
check it out at the library.
Yeah. So.
And also, you can go back and I'll go to YouTube and type in live reading, Deb and Sandy Palmer, and you should be able to get to all these videos and start with chapter 1 so you can listen to the chapters with us reading it and providing some backstory too if you like that better.
Yeah, and remember about posting it so you're eligible for a drawing for the
Share it.
drawing of the book.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks.
Thanks for being with us.
Night.
Good night.